What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about an undrafted signing that I realized I never actually talked about, and that's undrafted signing wide receiver Jakobi Meyers. And today we're going to be talking about if he can make the final 53-man roster. Now, the Patriots for the past 15 seasons straight, believe it or not, have had an undrafted free agent make the final cut of the 53-man roster. In most recent years, and guys that you will definitely know that were undrafted free agents that made the final roster are guys such as Malcom Butler, David Andrews, Adam Butler, and J.C. Jackson. So it's a pretty sure thing that the Patriots will have an undrafted free agent that they have signed end up making the final team. I've heard some people say Jakobi Meyers. I've heard some people try to say it's Byron Cowart. We're going to have to see. Now, personally, I feel that Jakobi Meyers definitely has the ability to be able to make the final roster, but it is going to be very hard for him to be able to do so because of the amount of receivers that are on the team. A lot are experienced and vets, so they have that over him. Now, the wide receiver position is still pretty open. If we're going to be completely honest, the only wide receiver that has a guaranteed spot, well, two actually, is Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry. Every other wide receiver, it is up in the air. So while that part is good for Jakobi Meyers, the bad part is that the amount of competition he has is going to be tough to beat. Now, Meyers primarily played slot receiver in college. Now, there was times due to his height that they did put him on the outside, but his main purpose was to play slot receiver, and that is where he really excelled. He had a terrible NFL combine, and that's why most people feel that his name was not called during the draft. He ran a 4.63 in the 40-yard dash, which was tied for the second slowest out of all wide receivers in the draft. But his three-cone drill time of 7.07 was tied for 15th, so that makes him right in the middle. The Patriots' current offensive scheme is comprised of precise route running and being able to make contested catches over the middle of the field and create separation. And that is exactly where Meyers could fit in because that is exactly what he's good at. From his stats, you can obviously tell he is not going to be a fast guy. He's not going to beat you with his speed. But he's coming here to New England where really all you need to succeed and make the team is be a good, crisp route runner and have short hands. The other thing I do like about him, and the other thing that I saw that was very vivid when I watched his film, is that he's a very good juker. He's a very hard planer, and it seems like most defenders could not shake that off. Jakobi Meyers is 203 pounds and sits at 6'2". He has a slightly larger frame, which will allow him to bring down more contested catches, especially playing in the slot. And when you look at who the Patriots have playing in the slot right now, they have, of course, Julian Edelman, but then they also have Braxton Berrios. But Berrios is very, very up there. There's a big question mark, really, above Braxton Berrios. So I'm not even really going to mix him in with Julian Edelman. But also, not only does his bigger frame allow him to make more contested catches, but it also makes him more effective in the red zone with the jump balls. The Pats have really struggled when it comes to getting in the red zone and capitalizing on touchdowns when it comes to the passing game. It seems like they are not able to do so. That's why 90% of the time you see them using James Devlin, Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead to try to just run it in. His contested catch ability was shown a lot throughout in college. His last season at NC State, he saw a season with 85 receptions in the slot, which was the most at the position. He also finished third in receiving yards with 984. Meyers also finished top 5 at the position in both drop rate and contested catches percentage. But really the big thing here for him to make the roster is that he must learn the very difficult playbook while also building chemistry with Tom Brady, but also the coaching staff. He's definitely gotten the opportunity so far, as both in OTAs and minicamp, he has gotten multiple side sessions with Tom Brady. I 100% believe that if Jakobi Meyers had a better combine, if he didn't do so dang poorly, then he definitely would have heard his name called during the draft. Of course, a lot of teams really only look at the NFL Combine, and that's also what a lot of fans do too, is they just look at the NFL Combine and base the player off of how they performed at that one time, and you can't, because the NFL Combine does not say how a receiver is always going to be, how they can develop. Jakobi Meyers' stats, the stats he's put up, his rankings he's put up, shows that he can be something super special in the NFL, and he's also extremely young. He's only 22, so he does have that time to still develop. But he is extremely raw, and he needs time to develop. I'm not talking just one season. I'm talking about possibly even two. He needs to sit out and really just observe and get better in order to step in the NFL. Honestly, if Jakobi Meyers was to step in week 1, I would be a little concerned for him. I think he has every tool set in order to work out in this New England Patriots offensive scheme. To me, there's nothing that stands out that really doesn't put him in the type of role that New England sets. It all just comes down to development and getting all his cards set and putting him correctly on the playing field and not just randomly having him out there. With some time, getting the ball thrown from guys like Brian Hoyer and Tom Brady, but most importantly, working with the coaches down there in New England and being with Bill Belichick will definitely bring out the best in Jakobi Meyers. But he is going to have a crazy training camp and a crazy preseason in order to make the final 53-man roster. Now, I would love if they could just have him on the practice squad and have him develop and train throughout the next season or two and then promote him. But it might also be a push if New England does release him for the final roster cutdowns. Then we could possibly see another team grab him, which is my worry. But that is it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on Jakobi Meyers? I've seen some people actually have him on their final 53-man roster and having some of these other vets out. I find that very interesting, but I definitely don't have it out of the possibilities either. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and also make sure you guys like and subscribe, as it helps me, the channel, and even you guys out very, very much, as it makes sure that I can keep producing more videos like this and potentially make this a final career where I can produce more videos for you guys. But other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.